Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my fourth review for Season 2 of Better Call Saul, the television series on AMC. This one is for Gloves Off. And I want to apologize that I didn't get this review up the night of airing. I did actually watch this episode the night of airing, but I've been dealing with my throat's been bugging me a little bit. Weather's changed, so it's a nice weather, but something's wrong with my throat. So just been doing a lot of videos on other stuff. The Game of Thrones trailer hit, and then of course lots of talk about Walking Dead after Sunday's incredible episode. So, but didn't want to forget about this one totally. And a few of you guys were asking for this review, so wanted to go ahead and get it done for you at least the best I can. So this episode, Gloves Off, was actually really fun, at least with regards to the Mike stuff. I enjoyed the stuff with Mike in this episode way more than the stuff with Saul or Jimmy. I'm not really enjoying the Jimmy stuff that much right now. I mean, it's okay. He goes to talk to Chuck in this episode, and Kim gets moved to the basement to kind of punish her by Hamlin. And, I kind of was able to see the side of the, Davis and Maine in this one, where they have a reputation, they have a certain, vision that they're trying to kind of portray the company as, and they don't want Saul or Jimmy to kind of make them look shabby or make them look, like they're not classy and this kind of deal, and that's more important than just one case. Now, that said, I do think they overreacted because it was shown in one market. Probably only like 1,000 people saw it or something, and if you don't want him to air it again, he doesn't have to air it again. I don't think it's that huge of a deal. That said, they didn't fire Jimmy for it. Did like the scene when Cliff tells him to stop selling, talks about taking initiative, but it's more like a team approach type deal. So, I can understand that they how they kind of treated him and that they threatened to fire him, but they didn't. So it seems to be okay, but I don't think it makes any sense for Hamlin to punish Kim for what Jimmy did over there. It doesn't make any sense. Even though she referred him, even still, his actions are his own. You can't really blame her for what he does at another company. That's kind of crazy, and so that's pretty much all I got to say about the Jimmy stuff. It was okay, but the Mike stuff in this one was awesome. This was like a Mike episode, and we've had one of those before, and I actually enjoy these ones a lot, maybe even more than overall the stuff with Jimmy, even though Jimmy's really funny. So, but Mike, of course, at the beginning you see him, he's got the eye. What the hell? What happened to him? And then as we go through the episode, we get to see it. So he's approached by Nacho to attempt to kill Tuco. Because and I liked all the stuff with Tuco because Nacho knows how crazy Tuco is. He knows that he goes absolutely nuts. He's got his lie detector test, and he's just like, and he just sits there for like a few minutes while the guy's like, the kid's like looking at him like, can I go? You can go. And Tuco's a great character. I like how they're using him in this show because he's like the first main villain for Breaking Bad, and he's so good that it fits so perfect to have him with Nacho in there, and to kind of have him be the more badass version where Nacho is kind of your villain, but he's a lot more sort of relatable. He's a lot more kind of loose. He's not as hardcore as Tuco. So you have Mike, who meets with the gun guy, the same gun guy, I believe, from Breaking Bad. I haven't verified that, but that's what people were telling me. And he sees the M40. I like where they talk about sending it into the jungle and the wood and how it would warp and stuff. And I think when Mike says that, he kind of has a realization that he doesn't really know fully what he's getting himself into. And should Nacho fold, or should something happen, if Gus dies, or sorry, not Gus, if Tuco, I hope we see Gus soon. If Tuco dies, maybe if Tuco's gone, then maybe this is the time when Gus moves in or something. So hopefully we'll see Gus in the next season or two. I really hope we will, because that will add to the show for me quite a bit from Mike's perspective. I'd love to see his relationship with Gus and how it starts. But so I get his perspective, and it is true that Tuco, I think Mike is so smart. He realizes that it's a full measure, but you're killing off somebody big. You're not, if you kill off Tuco, part of the cartel and everything, you're killing off somebody who's, he's important for them. He runs it, and he's tight, and he's he's hardcore and he does everything, and people are afraid of him and everybody's fearful of him. So if he does that, he doesn't really know what he's getting himself into 100% afterwards, what the repercussions will be. And we've seen that before in Breaking Bad. After, Walter and Jesse will do something, there will be repercussions afterwards. And, it's really, Mike is so smart to see that. And so instead, he feels much safer instead of, shooting him, killing him, just calling the cops ahead of time. I love the way he did this. And then he goes in, he hits his car, and then he gives him kind of the cold shoulder and acts like it didn't happen and everything. And, just acts like he's like this old man. Sorry, this old man. Nacho takes off, and then Tuco beats his ass. It was awesome, man. So, he's black and blue everywhere. I love it when he grabs him and he won't let go of him. And he takes the beating, and then is that all you got? And then Tuco finishes it up. This is so brilliant from Mike as a setup because, number one, he's also messing with Tuco. Tuco probably won't be mad at him afterwards because he'll be like, oh, I kicked the guy's ass. So he's not going to want to kill him. It's not like Mike did something and then got away scot-free and Tuco didn't get to unleash his aggression on him, so then Tuco might want him dead or something afterwards. At this point, after Tuco beat the shit out of him, he wouldn't really want to kill him because he'd be like, oh, I whipped that old man's ass. I knocked him out or whatever. So it's like he's got his, but he doesn't know that Mike set this whole thing up and took the beating so that he wouldn't have to pull that trigger. And Tuco goes away. Nacho's problem is solved, at least for a little while. And man, it was just I thought it was so brilliant and just such a smart way to go. Even though it might be the more painful route, he gets paid. Everybody's happy. It's a win-win situation for everybody. And even Tuco thinks he won, even though he doesn't realize that, in fact, it was a setup. So I love the episode from Mike's perspective. I'm going to give this one an 8.7 out of 10. Thought it was a lot of fun. I love their usage of Tuco, and I hope they continue to use him because he's just so hilarious, and I hope eventually we get to see Gus. So because of my throat, I think that's all I'll say for this one, guys. The Jimmy stuff wasn't that impressive. It hasn't been that great this season. So I'm really hoping that they have something coming and he gets fired or something big happens and he really screws up and he kind of goes back out on his own. It's not that fun to just see him part of a corporate system like that where he just doesn't fit in. He's a free spirit and he's just going to want to eventually, we know for sure from the storyline that he has to get out of there somehow. So however it happens, we'll have to see. But the conversation with him and Chuck was pretty good, where he asked Chuck to take a deal, that kind of thing, and have him quit in order to save Kim and this kind of deal. So he feels protective of Kim, which I do like their relationship, and that's one thing that I am kind of saddened by is that we know from Better Call Saul that the two of them can't work out. So how is that going to play out? How are we going to see that? That's also something I'm excited to see if the show goes on long enough. Hopefully it gets to season 3. I haven't heard yet. So if you guys like this trying review, you can go ahead and thumb it up below. Sorry it's late, guys. Did the best I could to get it to you now or never. Better late than never. You can share. And if you want to subscribe, if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen, I do reviews for pretty much every episode of Better Call Saul. I try to go through. Walking Dead, of course, and Game of Thrones and everything else that we talk about. So subscribe at the bottom left if you're new. That's it for today. So for this video, guys, we'll see you again real soon for another Walking Dead video next week for Better Call Saul, episode 5. It's Trev. I'm saying peace. See you guys later.